Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great December. It's finally cold here in Pittsburgh. We actually had a little bit of snow here this week, and it's not getting out of the 30s for the next week. So here we are. But don't worry, this week's episode will warm you up. We're talking fresh salsa. Well, at least it'll make you think about warmer places. I have been wanting to interview Heather Knepper from Ocho Salsa for a while now. I know her and her salsa from the Bloomfield Saturday Market. She makes fresh salsa that's traditional and inventive. But I have to tell you, after we did this interview, that night I woke up at 4 a.m, sat bolt upright in bed, and I was just like, wait a minute, hold on. I kept thinking about how Heather said that her family was the fourth generation. She was the fourth generation Los Angelinos from Los Angeles residents, but her family was originally from Spain. I always like to ask people about their food's, cultural origin, but this one threw me because she said Spain, and then all of the foods that she talked about were what I know to be Mexican, salsa, tamales, tortillas. Now, I know about the Columbian exchange where Columbus came over to the Americas and took back all kinds of food. So tomatoes, for example, we all associate tomatoes with Italy, but no, they didn't even have tomatoes in Italy before 500 years ago. It seems bonkers to think that they didn't originate there. But anyway, this is the case with the global food system, which is really amazing. And so much more, like potatoes. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, so it confused me that she was saying that it was Spanish food with the stuff that I thought of as Mexican. So I got up and 4 a.m, did some research, didn't really come up with any satisfactory results. So the next time I saw Heather at the market on Saturday, I told her about my dilemma. And she agreed and was like, yeah, I've struggled with that too. But then she told me that they made a family tree and traced her family back to Spain. So she had a theory that maybe her family was just influenced by living in California, at least early on, and connected to the Spanish-speaking folks around them. But a few days later, she texted me and said that she was talking with her aunt in Pasadena, California, and they were discussing this topic, and then she sent me this article. And the article said, yes, people in Spain eat tamales, although they're more commonly known as humitas. And humitas are a Spanish version of tamales made with corn mesa and savory fillings like pork or chicken. And then it goes on to say that tamales are a traditional Mesoamerican dish that originated with ancient civilizations like the Aztecs, the Mayans, and the Incas. And then it talks about how they were a portable and nutritious food source for these cultures on long journeys and hunting expeditions. And they're made from mesa, which is a dough made from nixtamalized corn. And they're steamed in corn husks or banana leaves. So the tamales made their way to Spain with Columbus over 500 years ago, because corn is also another item that originated in the Americas. Yeah, and until then, they never even grew corn in Spain. They didn't know anything about corn in Spain until Columbus brought it over. And also, other things that Columbus brought over from the Americas: chocolate, peppers, peanuts, and these things have become like staples of other cultures' foods. So anyway, if you haven't read anything about this, I recommend a book called The Columbian Exchange by Alfred W. Crosby. It's so informative. It covers plants and animals that move back and forth during the period in world history that just changed the way the entire globe eats. It's really enlightening. Anyway, I just didn't want to be disingenuous to any culture by giving credit to a culture for a certain food or having something that was, appropriated from another culture and applied. Yeah, I didn't want to have any confusion. So it actually got even more interesting for me, and I hope you were able to follow that. But with that all sorted, I went back to this week's episode, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. We talk about Heather's family, her influences, especially her dad, in the business of running a salsa business in Pittsburgh. I hope you enjoy our talk. Heather, welcome to With Bowl and Spoon. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Hi, Shelly. My name is Heather Knepper. I'm the owner of Ocho Salsa. I was born in Los Angeles as a fourth generation on my dad's side, and just grew up eating like Southern California style Mexican food and loved it. My dad's side of the family is Spanish, so we just really embrace those meals together, and that's just like it's comfort, it's family. That's what I wanted to associate my business with, so it's kind of how my background of how I got into salsa. I believe my great-grandmother, her parents came over from Spain, and then I guess they migrated to Southern California. So that side of the family.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
I confused that. So you're fourth generation Los Angeles born.
Native, correct.
And so your dad's family came from Spain?
Yes.
Okay.
And then my grandmother made tortillas. I wanted to perfect her recipe forever, and I still can't do it. I don't know what I'm missing, but that's one of my goals in life, is to figure out how she made those, because they were like our favorite thing. We would come out to visit, and she called them tias, and she, "You guys ready for tias?" And she would make beans and salsa to go with, and yeah, it was just good memories associated with all that. She either would make the dough ahead of time, or she would make it in front of us and then roll out the tortillas and serve them with beans and salsa, and that was kind of our welcoming meal. And she made it throughout our visit too, but it was just such a good memory associated with that, And that's kind of what we want with Ocho Salsa. Our goal is to make good salsa that you can gather around with friends and family. Very important. Good times are shared when you gather. So yeah, that's just kind of what the vibe that we're sending out.
And it is amazing salsa. And you use some really interesting ingredients too. You have experimented with a few different flavors.
So we've definitely gone off the grid with some of our flavors, but that's what's cool about food. You can fuse it, you can adapt it. One of my daughter's friends, she's like, "My family makes salsa with banana peppers," and that's something that's really familiar in the Pittsburgh area. I know growing up in California, we didn't really have banana peppers, and our time in Florida, like we went to school in Florida, I didn't remember having them there either. I think that's something that's very Pittsburgh themed. So we went ahead and did that, and it's been a success. So yeah, I really enjoy trying to take things and make them something different, or adapt them. So yeah, that's enjoyable.
You have some other fruit salsas.
We do mango habanero. We do grow our own peppers and tomatoes and garlic in the summer. We have a whole salsa garden, so I try to utilize those ingredients too. But yeah, we've got a mango, we've got pineapple, we have a pineapple chipotle, a pineapple verde. Somebody that had tasted our verde salsa was like, "You should put pineapple in this." And so I played around with it, and I brought it to the Bloomfield market, and I was like, "I wonder if this is gonna do well." And I wasn't optimistic, and it ended up being one of our best selling flavors. So we're 3 years into that one. I developed a verde guacamole, which as you all know, guacamole tends to brown very easily. And we wanted something that would be able to, be shelf stable for our customers. So I just decided to kind of experiment and put the avocado into the salsa verde, which is, it's got the vinegar, it's got the lime, so you have the acidity to help keep it good, and it worked, and that's been a hit too. So there's ones that work and ones that don't. One that failed was I did a maple chipotle, and it didn't take off like hugely. So
oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's just fun to play though.
Yeah. So how long have you been making and selling salsa?
Yeah. So in 2019, I still am a realtor, but I'm full-time salsa now. I put my license in escrow. 2019, I started selling salsa. Friends and family were like, "You need to sell this," and I never took them seriously. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I will, because I thought if I could sell salsa, I could talk to people and get leads for real estate. And that's just kind of how it started. And then
using food as the entrance.
Yes.
Nice. I like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Food is the gateway.
Yeah. And the Bellevue market was our first farmers market. So we did that one. And then I just really was enjoying it more than I was enjoying the real estate side of my career. So then we had the pandemic hit and real estate got closed down. So, I shifted and focused on the salsa 100% during that time and was like, I don't think I want to go back. And we just kind of went from there. And I got into the Bloomfield market, and then we just kind of went from there. And I'm really excited. We did open our commercial kitchen in 2022, the fall of 2022, which has been fantastic. And we hope to expand. We're kind of planning for the future to expand and have some great ideas and goals. So, yeah, that's where we're heading.
So it was just the peer pressure of your friends, or I guess, was it pressure? Did they pressure you to do it?
No, but they would always say it, like whenever
yeah.
Our kids played sports and we had a lot of parties and things that we would go to, and I would always bring them. I didn't have a choice. They were like, bring your salsa. So I would bring it, and everyone just complimented and said how much they enjoyed it. And
And which salsa was that?
So that was the original, and the way that came about was I did my junior year of high school.
And that's a mild salsa.
Right, it is mild. Lots of flavor, lots of garlic, but no heat. And it's kind of a salsa that I recreated. I did my junior year of high school at Redondo Beach High School. And my dad worked in Ventura, so I know you're familiar with LA. It was a long commute for him. So I was kind of on my own from 8 till 9 at night. And we would catch up on the weekends. I didn't really see him that much during the week. So Friday night, he'd get home and we would walk down to our favorite Mexican restaurant. It's not there anymore, sadly. But yeah, and that's where we would just we'd order some chips and salsa and just, kind of catch up on our week and touch base together. And it was done over chips and salsa, which was just, that it's kind of nostalgic. And then, we'd have food, but it was always just a nice time. So I when we moved here, I couldn't find a salsa that I liked that was fresh. And so I just recreated what I had, had and experienced there, and people loved it. So, and then from there, we got our peach salsa, which was an accident. I guess it was a serendipity, maybe a happy accident. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Holes. It was from a long time ago, but there are peaches in the movie, and so Bree was telling me on our way home one night. It was Sunday night, and she was like, "Oh, Mom, by the way, I have to bring in something with peaches tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So my mom brain goes into full mode, and I wonder if I could put peaches into salsa. And that way I could portion it into individual cups and send that in and just, send some chips. So that's what I ended up doing. And she actually won the contest. All of the teachers and the staff voted on their favorite item. And so she won, but I actually won because it's our best-selling salsa at the market. So it's just funny how those things come to me. But yeah. So, and then, like I said, I try, my downtime, our busy time is May to November, lots of markets, and people tend to buy salsa more when it's warm out. And then we kind of slow down from December till April. So that's when I catch up on things and plan for the year ahead and experiment with flavors and just different things. We developed a bean dip, which has done pretty well. So yeah, I'll just continue to create and and play around and enjoy it.
That's great. I've had the bean dip and it is very rich.
Yeah,
and it is delicious. I wish I had more reasons, more ways to eat
to
it.
use it. I know we do in our house. We do a quesadilla. I kind of took this from someone that had made pupusas at the market. She served a pineapple just like a caramelized pineapple to eat with the pupusa. So we do corn tortillas and we spread the bean dip, and then we do a caramelized pineapple on the quesadilla, and we eat those. And that's probably at least a once a week meal for us.
How do
we
you
love that.
caramelize a pineapple?
So I just take, I used canned. I mean, it's just easier. If we happen to have fresh, we'll do fresh. But I put it in the pan, like a hot, dry pan.
Like a cast iron skillet?
Cast iron skillet. Saute it with a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of salt. I think salt's always important when you're doing something sweet. And I just really let it go for like 15 minutes. Just stir it every once in a while, and it caramelizes. It's just so good. Natural sweetness comes out, and it pairs really well with the bean dip. So
when are you
like
gonna
a sweet
start
and
carrying
savory.
that?
Yeah, I know.
I would pick that up and mark it on a Saturday for sure. And the papu, just all the parts. I'll assemble at home.
I have not tackled. I've done. We make our own tamales. Like, that's super fun. I mean, it's a task, but you just have to make it fun. You put music on and dance and enjoy your time while you're making those.
It's like we make pierogies.
Yes,
Same.
exactly.
It's a whole day affair.
Exactly. It's a whole day affair, and you have fun. Same with empanadas. I make empanadas. I have not tried pupusas yet, so maybe this winter I'll try to tackle it. But yeah, and my grandmother's tortilla recipe.
Yeah, you gotta figure out what that
the
secret
recipe.
ingredient is.
I think
is it maybe the flour? Does she have a or did she
she
grind
always
the
used
corn herself?
No, these were flour tortillas.
Oh, okay.
They were big too. She would roll them like yay big, like 10 inches. And then I think she would always say when they didn't come out, she's like, oh, this is like cracker. This is like too crackery. They're going to come out like cracker. And she would start over, and it was always because she added too much shortening, or lard, like tallow. But I don't know. Mine just don't seem to have the elasticity that hers have. And then she had a special rolling pin that she rolled them out with, and she had this very thin, I mean, I'm talking like this thin of a really wide cast iron pan, and she would just throw them on. They would start to get bubbles. She would press it down and then flip it, and they were perfect. I mean,
did she do it all with her hand?
No, she would do it she would use a little spatula,
okay.
But that pan, my aunt still has that pan, and I can't find one like it. So.
And we were down in Mexico, and they would just like grab them
with their fingers.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, you develop those thick-skinned fingertips. But yeah, it's just such a good, good memory surrounding all of that. So, yeah.
That's
so my
great.
family's constantly with me, when I'm working, because I think of that.
Oh, that's really nice. So you're constantly surrounded by nostalgia.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah, because my dad passed in 2011, and then my grandmother passed in 2019. So neither of them are with us anymore. So, but they're still with me in spirit. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I really wish my dad could have known that we did this, because he would have been so excited. But maybe he does now.
For sure.
Yeah. So
what brought you to Pittsburgh?
So my husband's mom and dad were both born here and grew up here. He was born in New Jersey because his dad was in the military, and then my parents split, and my mom remarried, and we moved to the East Coast. So I met Ron in New Jersey, and then his grandmother became ill with Alzheimer's, and his mom moved out here to take care of her. Well, we took our fall break. We were down in Florida at the time because we both went to college down there, and we ended up staying for 11 years. And we drove up and helped move her out here. We fell in love with it it was fall. Like, who doesn't love Pittsburgh in the fall? So that's when we decided to make the move up here, and that's how we ended up in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh teases you with the beautiful fall and all the colors, and then it gets cold and bleak.
It's the last hurrah, yes, before the darkness sets in. Although our winters haven't been too bad the last couple of years.
Cheers to climate change.
I know.
So tell me about Florida. How do you think Florida influenced your food thinking?
I think Florida has a great food scene, especially Cuban food and Caribbean food. That's one thing that I cannot find in Pittsburgh. I don't know if you are familiar with any. I've put it out on the Reddit sub and I've asked around, but there really isn't. And I really miss that, style of food. My sister lives in St. Augustine, and we always try to, hit up a spot when we're down there. So, still like
Cafe Cubano. I mean, you can't beat it. The first time we went down to
like Miami,
the Keys. Well,
or the Keys,
when you cross over to the Keys and you're not on the mainland anymore, from there all the way down to Key West, there were no Starbucks, and we were like, we need coffee.
Right, we need
at that
caffeine.
point, we hadn't figured out how to do good coffee at our campsite. So, and that was kind of our like retreat to just go somewhere air conditioned or whatever.
Right.
And somehow we discovered Cuban coffee. We were like, of course there's no Starbucks. This is like $2 for 36 ounces of this stuff. And they would give us these little cups to go with them. No, it would be a big cup, but they give us these little cups and we'd be like, what's that for? He's like, just share. And we're like, no, this is mine.
I was gonna say, because I have had it from the little cup. I guess, like, are you supposed to savor it, like every little?
Well, I guess because it's really strong.
That
they'd get a big one and they'd share it among a group of friends while they're playing cards or whatever. That's where we would end up.
Well, that sounds super fun.
But like there's no need. And Cuban food down there is just amazing.
Yeah. And I just noticed in general, like, I mean, there's a huge melting pot in Florida, so. That's where we discovered a lot of foods that we hadn't, especially my husband. When I will say this, when I met him, he had never had an avocado before. He was raised in South Jersey, and they just didn't really have them, or you didn't know what they were or how to like use them.
This isn't like the 30s or something.
No, this was like the 90s. The middle 90s, yeah. So
it was before avocado toast was popular.
Exactly.
So that's okay, fair.
And on the subject of avocados, my grandfather on my mom's side lived in San Diego, and he actually had an avocado grove and grew avocados for the Haas company at the time. This was like back in the 80s. So, I've loved avocados forever.
It sounds like California. So talk more about California and your time out there. Like you have farmers in your family.
We do.
The fresh stuff out there is just amazing. That's where I had when I first moved out there when I was like 10.
Yeah.
I remember climbing a wall to get to a pomegranate tree and picking a pomegranate and being like, what is this?
Oh,
and my friends
cool.
just like bite into it. And I have some really fond memories, but tell me more about yours.
Well, my grandparents lived in Palos Verdes, and my grandmother had a lemon tree, and this is where my love of cooking and baking comes from. It's from her. Betty was her name, and we'd go out into the backyard and she'd pick lemons, and then she would show me how to make a lemon meringue pie, and it was such a cool concept to see it go from like a tree to like a dessert on your table. Even as a kid, I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, but it just stuck with me, and it was like, wow, look what you can like do with these things. So that's definitely where my like love of cooking and making people happy with food came from, because
that's wild. Lemon meringue pie in my family came from Jell-O.
Okay.
Jell-O packets to make the lemon, and then the meringue, of course, was the eggs.
The egg whites,
how do you do it with
well, she would zest the lemon, because she said all of the oil and flavor is in the lemon zest.
I didn't learn that until I was an adult, so it's so good that you learned that.
And it smelled so good, like when she would grate it. And then she would squeeze the lemons, and then she would put butter, sugar, egg yolk, and do like to make the lemon curd. And then she made her pie from scratch. I remember her like putting the ingredients together for that and like pressing it into the pie plate. Yeah. And then she would whip the egg whites. She always put cream of tartar in her egg whites. She told me that helps stabilize it, which I loved. Like, she explained what everything was for and the purpose. And then, she would just bake it, and, we'd have it, even if it was like 10 in the morning, we'd just eat it. That's the kind of grandma that she was. So, that's definitely where my love of food came from. My uncle would always grab strawberries. Like, he would come down. He would have to go through Ventura to come up. We ended up moving to Santa Barbara when I was like 3 or 4. Born in San Pedro, but we moved. And so he would come and visit, and the strawberries from Ventura were just, I don't even think I've had ones that good. They were just, this was before things got GMO'd and all that, and they were just juicy and fresh and just in season, which is when you want to eat fruit. And they were just the best. So yeah, growing up on a lot of like fruits, veggies that was such a blessing to have all that and to grow up like that. And my mom was kind of a granola mom. She's not now. Like, she's definitely relaxed a little bit, but yeah, it was a great experience. And yeah, we just really enjoyed like our family time together. So it's one of my favorite places. So
Southern California is wonderful.
Yeah.
Talk about real estate.
Right, yeah.
You go out there, you can make a fortune doing the real estate game.
I know.
You're here in Pittsburgh. Have you thought about moving back out there?
My great aunts asked me that when I came out for my grandma's funeral. I was like, I would love to, but it's probably not in the cards because it's so expensive. But visits are great. Like, it's and I appreciate it more when I go. I try to soak it all in and appreciate it while I'm there, and then I get to look forward to going again. So, so it's such a fun state to explore too. My grandmother ended up moving to Lake Tahoe, which was like totally awesome as well. So again, great memories. She would pack picnics. We would go to Sand Harbor. It's on the Nevada side, and she would just put stuff together. She'd grill steak on this little hibachi, and she'd had the tortillas like in a tortilla warmer, and we would just like put food together and stay until like 8 o'clock at night. It was so fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole other type of picnic than I've ever been on. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So I think, all of that rubbed off on me.
So what are the benefits of salsa? It's vegetables and garlic and all kinds of fresh stuff. It does qualify as your vegetable.
It does.
For a meal.
It does. It's just, we just put, we food process it, but it's all fresh ingredients. So there's so many things in it that are, good for you. Like lupine and tomatoes. Cilantro is a cleansing herb. Onions are good for your gut. And as the salsa sits, it ferments, which is that's good for you too. So it's vegan. It's also gluten-free, just naturally. We didn't even set out to do that. So that is definitely, it's a healthy snack, depending on what you eat with it, but that's okay.
It's really interesting that, sometimes I'll catch my salsa that has gotten kind of bubbly and fizzy.
Yes.
You're like, wait, this has a fizz
yes.
to it. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That is an okay thing.
Yeah.
I think the first time I found it like that, I was surprised. And then going to Mexico and realizing that that's the salsa, and that's how they serve it. Or I guess other Mexican restaurants too. I discovered before I actually went to Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah, it's delicious, and that adds a little probiotics.
Yes. Yeah. I know with our pumpkin salsa being out right now seasonally, a lot of people have taken my recipe suggestion. We roast squash and then put the salsa on top. So that's healthy way. You're not eating chips with it. It's a healthier way to consume. But yeah, it's not just a dip.
You're gonna want those carbs though.
Yeah, it's more like I'll use it as a chili starter, like as a base for it. Everything that you put into chilies and salsas, so why not? It's more
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Our website has a bunch of recipes, and I continue to kind of update and put more on there.
Maybe you should put some of those suggestions on your board.
Yes.
At the market and be like, this is a good chili starter.
Right.
And that could help to generate some more ideas.
Because our salsa freeze is great. So if you
But I don't think about that when I'm at the market. I'm just like, salsa. Do I want to eat salsa?
Right.
I don't think about the alternative uses for salsa.
Yeah. And then I took a class at Fulton, and there was a marketing speaker one week, and she's like, jarred salsa is not your competition. She said, your competition are the other cold dips and those kind of thing, like appetizer dips. So you want to, expand your product into other uses than just what it is. So that's what we started doing, and people love suggestions. It's hard thinking of, what am I going to put on the table tonight? Or, so if someone does it for you, it's like, oh, good, cool, we're done.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I try to keep them quick and easy. The biggest obstacle we've run into with a fresh product is shelf stability. And, grocery stores typically don't want to carry, things that aren't shelf stable because it's not profitable for them. And I totally get it.
Yeah.
With the grant, we would be looking at a sealing machine, which would extend the shelf life to 6 weeks, which would, allow stores to carry us. They'd be more willing to carry us so that our customers would have a better reach at buying our product. And we're actually looking into freeze drying. So we could freeze dry our salsa and then you just hydrate it. Yeah. And I will say, we haven't done it yet, obviously, because we don't have the machine, but I've done a lot of research and people say it tastes almost the same. So I think that would be cool. Like, you're a camper. We love camping.
I was just thinking about that. My time in Ontario, I would totally have taken that with me.
Yeah, and so that's something like you could bring that with you. You can do it with guacamole. Some things that you could bring with you camping or to your, a lot of people in Pittsburgh have another house that's a camp, they go to camp. So we thought that would be a great way to just utilize and make it. I mean, it's like good for 25 years that way. So, just kind of like
for real, 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years. So.
Well, I will tell you that your salsa has more than, what did you say it was? 2 weeks shelf life?
Yeah.
For sure, way more than that, because I had some in my fridge when we went to, I think it had already been in the fridge a week when we went to Ontario.
Yeah.
It sat in my fridge for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we waited a week because I was like, surely it's off. It's gone off. I'm going to have to throw it out. And then when I checked it, it was fine.
Yeah.
And delicious.
I know, it's crazy.
And we ate it all. So
I
think definitely has a 6 week shelf life now.
It does.
Just saying.
I mean, when we got inspected by Department of Ag, he told me that the pH is so low, it will, they weren't concerned about that at all. And it probably is good for 3 or 4 weeks. We worked with a food safety expert from California, and she gave us the steps on how to just keep testing it, looking at it. We just thought it tasted its best, around the 12-day mark. But yes, I mean, we've eaten it well beyond that. So
it's really good.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I just just trying to move forward and look ahead and plan things, expand in different ways. So
look forward to freeze-dried salsa.
Look forward to it. Yeah.
That sounds really, really interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, I thought guacamole, that's so weird, but like I've watched them make it and it rehydrate it, and it's incredible how it just comes back,
That is wild. Yeah, I would love to have that option for a local salsa and local guacamole that I can rehydrate.
We did do guacamole this summer at the Bloomfield Market. We ended up putting it in sealed bags where it draws the air out and seals it, and that worked great, and people loved it. But again, that's good in the freeze. You can freeze it, and it's good probably for 3 or 4 months. But that was a good for now.
It's still the single-use plastic.
Right. Yes, exactly.
An issue,
yeah. So, that's another thing. I wish we could find some containers that were, ours are recyclable. You can put them in the dishwasher and reuse them, and I do that all the time.
Yeah,
to
we
store
use
stuff.
Ours a lot.
It's great for, if you put them in the dishwasher and then have them dry. You can store dry goods in them, beans, rice, lentils. That's fantastic. But yeah, I wish we could find something that was more eco-friendly down the road, maybe. Yeah. Or with the sealing machine, maybe they sell some containers that vibe with that. We'll see.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what kind of challenges have you faced as a business owner in this area?
Definitely the shelf stability. That always comes up. It's difficult to get into bigger grocery stores, into like a bigger wholesale market. Smaller stores are willing to take you, but they're busy too. They're just small and limited on on their time and what they can do. So I've just tried to make it as easy as possible for them to order. Like when I go into Millvale, I just say hi and give them the invoice, and I'll just stock it for them. I know where they want it to go, and I'll do that.
So do they generally buy all the product, or do you have to take back any that doesn't?
We don't take back. We do wholesale, and we don't have a minimum. So I didn't want to do a minimum with a small business because I know how hard it is to get people to come in and shop local. So it's worked. Maybe it takes a few weeks to figure out how much is enough or not. How much is too much. But we always find that balance and then go from there. And that's kind of how we've worked it out. Another challenge is trying to find someone to co-pack in the region that doesn't require an absorbent amount of units. Because as a small business, you're trying to build your community. You're not there yet, so that's definitely been a challenge too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But for those who don't understand what co-packing means, can you explain what that means?
Sure. So you make your product and you work out a contract with a facility, like a plant facility, who would process the salsa and package it for you. So you're paying them a fee to do that, and it's just. In this area right now.
So it would be like a food manufacturing plant that you would give them your recipe and your ingredients, and they would make it and then
package it for you. Correct. But the problem that you run into is until you have enough, it's like a catch-22. You can't get into Giant Eagle or Whole Foods, until it's in that kind of packaging, but you also don't have, as a small business starting out, you don't have the money or the resources to do that. So that's kind of what you run into in terms of expanding.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things that was mentioned in the report that was done in 2015 by Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission.
Okay.
And they did that big, do you remember that report they did on local food and local food system?
No.
It's one of my favorite documents.
I'll have to look that up.
The woman did this project and then left.
Yeah. Oh.
And they never did anything else with it. But it's a good report.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I'll try and remember to send it to you.
Okay, yeah. That would be awesome. I'd love to read that.
And one of the things that it said was a co-packing facility was definitely necessary.
Yeah. I just... Being here, I've
butchers.
learned.
Butchers.
Yeah. We're a city, but we're not there yet. Even in Philly, we couldn't. It was really difficult to find a co-packer in Philly. I think New York was somewhere like in New York was the closest. But that was definitely another issue we were running into. So we just have to adapt and try and figure it out.
Yeah. Where can people buy your product?
Currently, we're still with Harvey. You can order it through the grocery delivery service there. We're at Bloomfield Market. We are at the Millvale Market. We do seasonal deliveries to Chenot Farm and Brankles. We're looking to expand more, but that's this winter is what I'm planning for because we did apply for a grant to expand the business. So either way, I'm going to plan to expand. It just is how much we can, how much we'll be able to. But yeah, I'd like to get into some presence in the South Hills. Just maybe hire a delivery driver because I just can't do it all anymore.
Yeah.
I wish we were in other places and my customers were like, I wish you were here and I wish you were here. We do too. We're trying. So we're working on it. But currently that's where we are. So
you want to mention your website?
It's www.ochosalsa.com. There's recipe suggestions. All of our products are on there. We are going to be doing a winter delivery to Bloomfield. I'm not sure if we'll do it bi-monthly or monthly.
Oh, you're not doing the Bloomfield Winter Market?
I'm not doing the winter market. So
okay. So that ends the end of this month, right?
Yes. So we've been having people sign up, and you'll have access to all of our products. It won't just be limited things for pre-order and pickup. So I wanted to have people have the opportunity to still have it throughout the winter time, even though we're not there. So
we'll miss you.
Yeah. I don't do well in the cold. I'm a big baby. And I do, like I said, I try during the winter time to just get things done and prepped for the season ahead. So it's a time of respite, but also planning.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe experimenting
Yes.
on some expansion ideas.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then if we get our grant, it won't be respite. It will be a lot of work. So, but it'll be a positive thing, and that's exciting. So we'll see. Yeah.
Awesome.
See what happens.
Well, Heather, thanks so much for
Thank
being
you.
on With Bowl and Spoon.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon. Take that spoon. Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon. Take that spoon.
With Bowl and Spoon is written, produced and hosted by Shelley Gainford. Original theme song was written and performed by Paul LeBreeze and friends. You can listen to With Bowl and Spoon wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, like, review and share. Follow us and send us questions or messages on Facebook and Instagram at With Bowl and Spoon. Thanks for listening.
And spoon. Bowl. And spoon. Bowl. And spoon. Bowl.
Mesa, which is a dough made from nixtamalized corn.